Welcome back, everyone. You know what time it is. It's time to explore the dungeon with the crew. It is part 2 of our journey within Crypto Dungeon. We're going to be jumping into the magical realm that is, well, actually, I should say very dangerous and very scary and hard realm that it is within Crypto Dungeon. I got the crew with me again, guys. How is your day, or I should say night, going for all of you? Let's start with you, Lee, as I see it. You're muted. You're muted. I still can't hear you. Can you guys hear him?
No.
I cannot hear him. No.
Unmute. Hannah, how's your afternoon going?
Let's see if I work any better. Pretty well.
You're
Can't
going great.
complain. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Brad?
Yeah, doing well. Ready to delve into the dungeon, as it were.
And our DM, Popcorn, how is your afternoon night going, sir?
Well, it's always a beautiful day here in the USA. I have nothing really bad to complain about. Everything is going really well. Excited to go through this adventure with you guys.
No. I'm so nervous about this. He used the word kill. He used the big K word. I don't know how this night's gonna go. Guys, Lee, did you get it fixed?
Can you hear me now?
There.
Perfect.
You
All
got
right,
it.
nice. Yeah, I'm just tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. I had to work all day and got 24 days in a row. I got to work, so
Oh my gosh,
gonna be
24 days in a row?
just the way the schedule
Isn't that
was.
illegal? I feel like that's illegal. That should be illegal. Where's a break? I feel like there should be a break.
I'm voluntarily torturing myself. So
Oh, okay. Well, you have only yourself to blame then, my friend. Guys,
Yeah.
with that being said, with no further delays, because these games can be a little bit lengthy, let's actually just go ahead and jump on into it. I'm going to bring up my screen, and then I'm going to be handing over the reins to our dungeon master, Popcorn, and we're going to be jumping on into the world that is. So actually, I was playing around with this earlier, and there was an update. Hopefully, I'm not doing this wrong. Can you guys see my screen here? Do I just join this campaign, or is it
Sidril. Yep. Join Sidril.
Okay. Join campaign, play.
And then as soon as you're going to get this loading screen, it's going to take you into a place where we're currently not there. Since I'm the dungeon master and I'm not present on this board with you, you'll just have this waiting on GM. It won't let you really do anything. So what I have to do is on my side, I have to actually pull you right over to the board that we're in now.
Okay. That's good to know for anybody later who's going to be playing. So I
That's right.
loaded it up and I was like, what's going on? I don't see. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's just the world map. So you can see all the different continents and stuff. It's almost like a little loading screen or a title screen, like a normal game, right? So you can see all the different players that are running around on the board, but the adventure is here, not on the world map, right?
Right.
So welcome in. You probably recognize the scene, familiar from last week. Party, before we really get started tonight, I always want to ask everyone to do the recap. That way everyone remembers what had happened last time, and you can tell me what it is that you found important or funny or interesting from last week's session. So, Party, remind us all. You can either fight for who has to do this. You can draw straws. You can play nose goes. Doesn't matter. You can take turns if you like. But some way, somehow, let me know what happened last week, folks.
Does anybody want to take lead on this?
Don't everyone all at once.
Yeah, don't jump.
I can take lead. We were tasked with undertaking an annual hunt, if I remember correctly, for the Elkhound.
That's right, the Elcower.
Elcower.
Good memory.
And almost immediately into that adventure, we witnessed a kind of a meteor or something crashing from the sky, which we went and investigated. Turned out to be another character, as it were, and we attempted to discuss some things with him as he continually complained that Solana was a witch. I think we squared iron things out as we got into combat with the Elkor. And Solana was pulled into the water, dragged underneath, and I rescued her, I believe. And then
Yes, because you are strong and powerful.
Exactly.
You
And
need
then,
no assistance from anyone else.
no,
You could
certainly not.
tackle this all by yourself with your big manly powers.
And then also slayed the Elkar. And then I don't know if we had anything further. If anyone wants to fill in any other details or what happened after that.
No, I think that was pretty spot on. I do. I'm sorry to go off the rails one more time because again,
Please.
I'm trying to make sure that any new players like myself in the future kind of understand the ins and outs of things. I'm trying to bring up my character sheet and to where I could
Yes.
roll. Hold on let me actually get rid of this screen and just bring it up so you guys can see it. When I'm here on my character builder page, where am I clicking to? It actually brings the roll.
So there's two different ways that you can do this. You can either go up to the top right where there's like little character sheet icon, looks like next to what's next. That's for you to like see the PDF version and you can download it. If you're a little bit more old school like myself, you might like that. You can make edits to the sheet. It won't roll online for you though. You'll kind of have to do that yourself with your own dice at home. Or you can click the view character sheet button, just the real big one right in the middle above, come together. There you go.
Awesome.
And voila, there's the interface.
So simple. But I figured if I had questions, other people might have questions. So that's how you do that, guys. Let me bring you guys back to the world. I'm sorry.
No,
carry on.
anytime. That makes perfect sense. I mean, you can't really play if you don't have access to the sheet, right?
That's right.
That's kind of a good step one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe step one is find a DM, but step two, certainly, is get your character sheet in order, right? Well, with that out of the way, party, what else do we remember from last week? Anything you'd like to add? I don't think there's anything to take away. He did a great job of giving like a good summary.
I will
But-
say I do
Of course.
recall seeing a menacing presence in the shadows.
That's
about it.
right. There is not, your whole party has not yet seen these, but there was some presence of some kind located underneath the shadow of some of the tree's foliage. Anybody else want to add anything?
I'll just say
I
as
remember there
well,
was a
you know.
necklace. Oh, sorry.
You're good. You're good. I was just going to add that specifically, you know, if we're going to congratulate Groga on his rescuing, Solana very much is convinced that she healed Kami when she 100% did not. So figure I'd just throw that in there as
A
well.
witch. Which
Of
would-
course.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. We've got once again a good note to our fine rescuer, strong and triumphant. And of course, the witch did do some wonderful healing magic on our saved person. And anything else we'd like to recall?
This monk was very grateful for the healing magic.
It sounds like there's nothing else we'd like to add. So without further ado, party, you find yourselves this session, the second one of our campaign, all of you gathered together into a small group adjacent to a tree, which is chopped down to be used as a bridge over top of the stream. You could hear the water rushing along around the island that is your starting point for today. And that it's sort of the rushing sounds of the river trickling almost sounds like some sort of strange thing gurgling, or maybe a few creatures laughing. You can hear something on the distant breeze beyond the river. It's almost drowned out, but it sounds vaguely human, vaguely sentient, like something whispering into your ear dark secrets. For each of you, something different seems to call to your past, the darkened reasons that brought you to the Verdot estates, or, well, for Kami, who knows yet? But beyond that, even though the sounds are upsetting or dark, the sun shines overhead and it looks to be a genuinely beautiful day despite that darkness. You can still feel like this pressure to the air from where that meteorite has just landed, and you can smell the smoke and the burnt cinders from the trees, the shattered wood. You can sort of feel and almost taste the forest as you stand here. And while you're standing here, all sort of gasping and exasperated, you can feel the energy, the adrenaline still pumping through your bodies. what do you say to one another? What party would you like to do? Don't all of you talk at once. You all stand here together in a, just sort of relaxing your bodies, looking around kind of awkwardly to one another, waiting for somebody to talk first. You can feel a sense of fear set in, Kami, as no one's talking to you. They're all just staring you down. And you, unlike the rest, being so new to this group, aren't sure what to expect. The spiritual weapon that's still kicking inside of the river, you can feel it sort of fizzles as it dies out amid the silence.
How's everybody feeling? Because I don't know about you, but I kind of would like a nap, and you went down for a nap. Is that just me, or...
I'm very much exhausted, and I'd like to actually get off this island. I say that we actually cross this bridge and make our way back to wherever you three have come from. I need sustenance and I need rest. I just fell from the sky and helped vanquish this beast.
I think we need to drag this beast's corpse with us as we go. I can manage that if we can get it across the river here, the stream.
Why would we do that?
We need to take the corpse back to prove that we've slain this beast.
Quick question, DM, as well. Who else saw the creature in the back?
So the creature in the back, I believe you and Kami have seen the beast at this juncture,
Okay.
or at least if not you, definitely Kami has.
I think I was like, when I was like by the border, I might have. I just wanted to double check before I started role playing.
And honestly, anybody who in the middle of session said, "Wait, hold on a sec. There's a thing back there." I'll give them a mild, they've seen something at the very least, even if they didn't do a check for it. Because the point is, you got to use your eyes, right, in the 3D interface. And if you can see it with your eyes, your character can see it theoretically.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that I saw it, but I'll actually kind of get in and wade in that water along that bridge and drag, kind of pull and drag that corpse over to the other side of the stream here.
Sure, you step into the water, immediately going towards the beast and beginning to haul it up out of the stream. When you do that, you notice that the body is very heavy. It's like, it's as big as a normal elk, right? It's so many hundreds of pounds. And the stream is just pushing against your current. You realize you might need some help, but maybe not. Go ahead and make a strength check.
+3, so 15 on the strength check.
With a 15, the beast is so massive, so heavy that you're having difficulty dragging it up, but you do get it out of the depths and into where the rushing currents are, like higher up into the stream water. Another 15.
Well, I'm trying to remove the die. Sorry, I dropped it in the stream. So.
Yeah, it's fine. Or you could right click it and then.
Yeah, I was just having troubles down there in the stream. We're good. It's got enough.
Party, you look on from afar as Groga seems to be struggling to bring the beast out of the water. You can see he seems to get it up towards the bank and then suddenly plummets down into the water himself. You can hear a sort of a gurgling. As he goes under, pulls himself back up, water dripping down from his armor. You can hear it just sort of rushing through these strange crevices as it tries to rejoin the stream below. Does anybody want to help him, or you just watch?
Well, I'm not going to save him. I'm
I'll-
still kind of confused on why you guys want this beast so bad. Why take this beast?
That's what we were looking for when we found you. We were told to hunt for this creature.
Specifically, we were supposed to find like a not super impressive creature, like a good second place option was what we were supposed to find, and I think we succeeded. So I think we killed two birds with one stone. By the way, Kami, do you see that thing over there still? But finish up this, but that's definitely what Solana's focused on because she isn't dragging anything out of water right now.
What are you guys talking about? What thing over?
You turn around and point. In what direction You could use the tail spire, or you could just use the compass keys if you'd want. There's a northwest and east. If you look to the bottom left-hand corner of the tail spire, where are you pointing, Solana? I think you're muted.
Specifically northwest, kind of
Northwest.
towards like the edge of the island.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Very well. Yes, she points off towards the base of the tree. And everyone, like, sort of immediately as you turn over, the shadows underneath the trees seem to be moving, almost like the tops of a campfire flame. Just that weird distortion of the air caused by a heated presence, but only specifically underneath where that tree is located at. You almost feel as though you could see a face or a flash of these malevolent purple eyes glaring out at you from within that distortion.
I don't know about you guys, but that's not anybody that I know. I want to get out of here.
Can I do like an Arcana check of it? Can I see
Yes.
if it seems to be like real or like an illusion?
Yes, you
specifically?
certainly can. Please, by all means, give me an Arcana check.
I'm
And
gonna
as you
guidance
do
her.
your Arcana check, your concentration is only partially interrupted by the sounds of and the sounds of the body of the elk cow being dragged out of the water.
I'm gonna put my hand on her back and say, "May you have great Arcana checks."
Very well. That's your guidance, presumably. Your
I
guiding
appreciate
words.
it. I appreciate it. Real quickly, could you refresh my memory on how to roll the dice in Tailspire?
Yes. Click space.
There
Then,
we go. Thank you.
you'll left click whatever die you're looking for, and then you can. Yep, you got it.
Beautiful, beautiful. That
Now,
will
don't
be
forget
a.
your guidance.
Oh yes, I completely forgot about my
Okay,
guidance.
actually, looks like Lee's got you. So,
perfect.
or you've got yourself. Either way, pick whichever one you want to use. That doesn't matter. to me.
I just see a 3, so we'll go with that. So 8
All
plus
right.
3 plus Arcana 6, 14, 17 total.
A 17, wonderful. From this distance, as you're staring out into the tree, you don't know entirely what it is. You're not certain. However, you can see this yellowish blur of what you believe to be illusion magic of some kind. It gives you the impression as though whatever's there is probably not what you're supposed to be looking at, and that your eyes may be deceived by what you're immediately seeing. It's sort of like the magic seems to make this spiral effect, or actually similar to the tree that it's standing under. Lines of the illusion magic moving up from the ground, spiraling and twisting into this greater mass. And then, much like the tree limbs above, the magic spreads out into the sky. Beyond that, when you're just looking at the thing in general, you get this feeling as though there's more to it than normal mortal castings of illusion magic. So there is this blinding sort of sparkles along the top and the bottom of where the magic is flowing, like from the sky and the earth. It reminds you of celestial magic, something that only creatures from beyond this world possess.
Guys, I think it's an angel.
Oh, and one final thing. Just because of what's unique in this world, the illusion magic does seem to give this smell, this scent to the air of chicken broth. Like in a soup.
Huh.
You'd start to smell the soup from afar.
Is anyone getting that? It's kind of like chicken noodle. Anyone else? Just me? I can't. Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm just really hungry, so it might just be my stomach playing tricks on me. But I do smell the same.
I think
Okay,
we should
if
check
we
that
both
thing out.
separately smelled it, I'll go ahead and also kind of try to communicate this to my comrades. Hey guys, so I don't want to alarm everyone, and I know your hands are a little full, but there does seem to be some sort of semi-illusion thing over there by that tree, and it's kind of, I think, almost celestial based. As far as I could tell.
I think we should check it out. It might have clues to where our new friend is from.
You go first.
Grogu, get out of the water.
You turn over to him. You can hear a slight shifting in the ferns, the grasses below, but that is overpowered by the rushing stream, the whispering voices, and of course Grogu's own. Tries to drag this massive beast.
I'll poke my head up as they're talking to me. It's just kind of very focused on getting this elk out of the water, but I'll relinquish it for the time being, and then venture back up onto the edge here and ask, what are we looking at?
Oh, it's getting away. We should probably actually get that elk first. I don't think the solution's going away. We should maybe try to. Oh gosh.
You turn around to see Kami just walking out almost like over a tightrope over top of this log bridge that's been made just where the Elcower has plummeted into the water. Still in his hands, you can see the strange gear-bound book wrapped with those skeletal leaves, the mirror lens covering on both sides, glinting into the sun as he holds it in his clutches.
Oh, me? No,
right
me.
over
I'm not.
top
I'm not
of the
doing anything. I don't know about you guys. I just want to kind of get away. You guys are confusing me. First thing you trying to hunt this beast that just tried to kill us all, and the next thing you want to go and check out illusions. I have no idea who you guys are. I just really want to go eat and get away from you guys right now.
Okay, for the record, we're really just trying to get money with the elk. So I promise if you help us get it, you can have some of it. So money, good. Money helps with whatever else you're trying to do with life, right?
We may eat the elk too.
I need food and money. Yes, I guess you're right. Come on, let's get this beast first.
Yeah, let's get the beast. I want to hop right back in.
Very well. As you leap back into the water, you wince for a moment, knowing just how cold it's going to be. Here in the fall time season, the water's no longer as warm as it would be in the summertime. And as soon as your already cold plate armor or the steel touching your body hits the water, you feel the icy freeze once again rise up all the worse for the second time that you're going in it. There's sort of a slight shock. Ooh. As you go down deeper into the water, is heard as you go down in. And it seems as though the Elcower is right back into the depths where you had first got it.
Witch, use your magic, witch. Lift them up.
Okay, I'll help. So I'll go ahead and start moving towards it. I'm going to step onto the bridge next to Kami and be like, well, kind of out of spells, and I'll just jump into the water.
Very well. You go over top of the log, give it a second look
assist
down.
and give the help action. Not try to actually be strong myself, but just try and assist as much as I can. Help Groga try to lift this out of the water onto the other side of the
Also
bank,
helping.
ideally.
Very well. The three of you dive into the water to assist Groga here. As you, Xanthar, as you jump in with them, you hear a slight this sort of this lightning flashing out of your body as your mechanical parts react with the water, but you can hear the plates of your body sort of closing up, protecting you from any further damage. Groga, as you are assisted by your allies, Kami having decided that yes, this is a very good idea. I would love to watch all of you get this for me, for yourselves. Please roll me your strength check with advantage, given that you have your allies. The difficulty class, since there are three of you, has also gone down for this check.
17 plus the 3, so I have a 20 total without the assistance.
Most fantastic. Fantastic. As you begin to drag the antlers of the beast, the other two going over, grabbing some of its hooves, you do know that you have more power than the stream is running down beyond you. Sort of the currents are no match for the three of you together. Which bank do you want to pull it over to?
Oh, I want to pull it right over to where we initially jumped in, if possible.
I
that.
kind of thought so.
Knew that
Very
part.
well. Assisted by your teammates, you do drag the body up out of the water successfully. And as soon as it comes out of the water, you can feel or you can hear the thing sort of sloughing water off in every direction. But you can see that it's the fur of its body, the scales, has this sort of draconic hue to it. They glint with a rainbow color, almost pearlescent, like a vehicle, like a car, inside or under that light. You can see just a little bit of magic inside of its mouth, just beginning to die down and fade away as you pull it out of the water.
I'll do a little quick just kick, like not kicking it in, but just a little kick just to make sure that that light is dying down, just because I know what that mouth feels like on a personal level. And after I've kind of assured that that's okay, I'm going to walk over to my two comrades who are just as soaking wet as me and cast Prestidigitation on each of them, followed them by myself just to dry us off more quickly.
Wonderful. You go forth and begin to do this, to cast Prestidigitation to clean yourselves off. Which direction are you casting Prestidigitation on them?
I'm just going to walk over to, first I'll do Groga, just being like, I'm sorry, it just looks like your metal is a little cold when it's wet, so just be careful. And I'll just kind of put a hand on his shoulder in order to try and basically get him dry. Does that make sense?
No, it certainly does. You walk over to him, you give out a burst of transmutation magic, and as you do that, you can feel the like this orange light bathing out from your hand over top of his armor. You can smell the loamy earth, the air as the magic is cast. And like a thunder wave spell, you watch the soil, the sediment, the debris, the cold, the water soil shoots off of his body, off into the trees and the thickets beyond. A few creatures, woodland creatures, startled, quickly scurry away. Your little tweeting sort of sounds.
Okay, I'm not sure how this is going to work on a robot kind of guy, but let's find out. So I'll go over and do the same thing on Xanthar as well.
It works just fine, just like it did on the other person. And successfully, as you go between the two of them, all of the grime, the dust, the soil, the whatever dirt they have on them, all of it flies offward, and they can feel themselves heating up and getting rid of that cold water sensation across their body. What if only we had air dryers like this in the mortal world, right?
Thank you, Solana. Did I overhear there was some mysterious presence or illusion back on the other side?
Yeah, we should check that out. That could have some answers about our new friend here, and I feel like there's something that could tell us about ourselves as well.
I agree. Kami seems very intent on getting food, though. How about Kami and why don't you help me drag this elk back to the individual that sent us off here, and we can work on getting food for you. I think
fine with me.
Solana and Xanthar can handle this.
As you say that, from back beyond where you passed the island, you hear the sound of shattering rock, the sound of a massive horned bellow escaping from deep down into the earth as the massive head of an Elcower bursts out from the Underdark below, beyond the river. It begins to stampede out through the forest towards the water's edge, and seems to just pause for a moment, huffing, shaking, panting. You can hear this thing is easily, or you can see that it's easily twice the size of the Elcower you've gathered. The massive antlers sprouting across its body looks as though it could just hit one of your torsos and send you flying off into the next city over. But beyond that, you can see that it has this bloodshot, reddish, pinkish coloration to its eyes. And you can clearly tell that it is very distressed.
Oh my gosh. I think we just woke up Mama.
I'm going to rear up and roar back at it and try to intimidate it.
Okay, all right. From across the stream, you go forward. You begin doing a bellowing, "Hey there, stop it!" Or whatever else it is that you do. While he's going to bellow and try and intimidate the creature, what does everybody else want to do as they see the massive Elcower appear?
I think this thing doesn't want us around here. That's my opinion.
I would like
I'm-
to. I'd like to plead to the insane group of strange people that have found me to stop being crazy and let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab the deer that Elcar we have and kind of start pulling it and kind of say, if anyone wants to help me, we should go, and then just kind of start tugging it and kind of heading in the direction of where our guide dropped us off.
I want to
Sure,
remind the
okay,
group
you wanna
that
start-
that is probably the more impressive trophy that your strange friend was inquiring about, and I think we're good with the lesser trophy here. We should get out of here while we still can.
Yep, we're good. We're
Yeah,
definitely good.
I'm watching the new Elcower creature to see how it reacts to Solana Dragon, the other smaller one.
So Solana's going to try and drag the Elcower. And Kami, did you say you wanted to assist her in that? That was your
I am
action?
definitely helping her. She's not alone. I'm
Right.
grabbing the other side.
So you'll both be dragging the Elcower. Do you just grabbing the legs, or how are you guys going to split the work there?
I'll
Okay.
grab a leg if anyone wants to grab like the antler or another leg.
I
I'll
think
try
it'd
to
be.
put myself in the back.
I think it'd be best if we just grab it by each side of this antlers, and we drag it on its back from the antlers.
Works for
All
me.
right. While you're doing that, we have Xanthar. What are you doing exactly? You said you're going to watch
I'm
the Elcower.
watching.
Anything in
Yeah,
particular?
I just want to see. I want to see if there's any hint of how it's going to react, so I
Sure.
can warn everyone else. Hey, let go of that thing, or just prepare for whatever's could happen.
I need an insight check from you, and I need an intimidation check from Groga, and I need Kami to tell me, how are you grabbing onto this big antlered creature while you're holding this big, strange, mechanical mirror glowing book?
I'm grabbing it with one hand on the antlers, and I'm holding the book tucked underneath my arms like a football.
Okay, all right. So you're just gonna like half support with Solana as the book is too my precious.
This is my only thing that I
Hold on to
have
it.
since landing here.
Okay, very well. This is good for me. All right, party. You may
I rolled a
begin.
12.
What are your rolls? 12.
Yeah.
15 for the intimidation check.
Wonderful. As you stand there and sort of guesstimate what it's going to do, you immediately, Xanthar, get the impression as Groga goes up and puffs his chest and roars out as loud as he possibly can. You see the Elcower suddenly noticing your group. It seems to have become more alert. It lowers its antlers, raising them into the air as its head sort of thrown about as it takes its hooves and drags it into the ground. You get the impression it's about to charge.
Yeah, guys, I think we should get the hell out of here. I mean, like,
As Solana and Kami begin to drag the Elcower body away, you sort of turn around to say, guys, I think we should, and they're already moving. But as they're moving away, the Elcower begins to sprint over to your location as it barrels on through the forest. Everyone roll initiative as the chase
shit.
scene commences.
I'll kind of say to these guys, not whispering, but I think we can take it.
Is he crazy? I think that guy's crazy.
Ooh.
Where's the
3.
All right, you've got a 3. That puts you no doubt at the
18.
bottom for now. And then
Also 18.
18. Okay, who is the first 18? I missed your voice.
I have an 18 here.
Groga. You can settle it between yourselves. You can go with the highest dexterity modifier. You can re-roll for it if you want. Or one of you can just sort of say, no, I'm too nice. I don't want to take it.
I have-
My dex is +4. What's yours?
Oh, Jesus. Mine's a -1. You can gladly take it.
I have no constitution, but I'm speedy. That's it.
which is good, which is good. And then finally, Kami, where do we have? Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, you're the last one. What do you got?
Am I rolling dexterity? What am I rolling right now?
You're rolling the initiative button. You'll find it at the top middle part of your character sheet.
Oh, there you. Okay. Oh gosh, it's just a plus 2. Okay, here we go. A 21, 19.
Oh, fantastic! You'll start this show off. Kami, we go to you to begin the game. What is it you'd like to do?
I'd like to hurry and get out of here as quickly as possible.
Very well. Now, while you are carrying this object with somebody else, only using half of your ability to carry, you'll essentially do a ready check. And then once both of you have passed your ready check, you'll then progress the movement together all at once. You could also talk with one another and possibly do this a little bit earlier, but generally speaking, whoever's turn is last, that's when everything will move on. So that's when the movement will occur. So you've got your action for that. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your bonus actions at this time? Well, actually, I guess it's just movement because you're dragging. So
Yeah.
I will say, as far as planning goes, we can actually, if we want, use our action to dash. So we
That's
can
right.
double our movement if we want to use our action. And if you want, you and me be like, we were already running, kind of look at each other and be like,
That is a great suggestion. I
going?
think we should definitely do that. Yes.
okay, perfect.
Wonderful. Very well. So you use your action to dash. You still have your bonus actions, your free action, and movement. Is there any of those you'd like to use otherwise?
I would like to just use my action for now.
Very well. Then Groga, we go to you. Kami's got a ready check to try and dash away with this Elcower. What would you like to do? I think we can take it.
Yeah, I'd just like to clarify too. My intelligence is rather low.
You know what though? I love it. Stick to your character, and you now. I will say, metagaming is okay to a certain extent, right?
Sure.
Like if you know you need to assist your allies with something, or if you don't want to get turned into paste, and it seems reasonable, right? But stick to your character as much as you'd like. It makes the game way more fun and interesting. So go for it.
Yeah, I will say out of the corner of my eye, I see them pulling, dragging this away as quickly as they can. I know Xanthar has said that they like to get out of here as well. I think what I'm going to actually do, despite
If it matters
you
at
wanting
all, I think we agreed that I was going to go first, is what we said, because I had the higher dex. I don't know if that matters for
Oh
what
my,
you do,
yes.
Groga.
Oh my,
I
you're
figured I would
right.
just bring that up.
Hold
sorry,
on. Thank you.
I assumed you were just dragging the elk. Sorry. Yeah.
No, this
Oh,
is
go ahead.
this is just the character tracker had you behind. I'm so sorry that happened. So
okay.
Groga, we will pass your turn for a moment. My apologies. There's Solana. You also would like to drag with your action, right? You want to
Yes.
dash.
Yeah, dash and then use the movement. So I don't know what Kami's movement is. Mine is 30 feet. So I, in theory, with movement action, could do 60 feet. I imagine as a monk, he might be a little bit more. But I'm just going to go as far as I can.
That's right. You can only go the amount of speed that you both have. It's got to be a max of some sort. Like your max is his max for this. So you drag 60 feet as you dash away as far as you can go. Ordinarily, dragging would take would have your speed, but in this case, since there's two of you, you just go the full distance. You can, and as you dash along the roadway or over towards the road, you can see Capitan Cloud on the other side of the roadway, looking at you, the stopwatch in hand, waving you along. Hurry up, hurry up.
So we did, I think that movement right there was 9 blocks, and we can do 12 with double movement of 60, right? So that's 5.
I do believe it was the full 12. I've got 12 tiles
Oh,
there.
perfect. Yep. No, you're good. I was looking at the other, like, W. So yeah, perfect.
No, just double checking.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to do with your economy?
That will be it.
Very well. Now, Groga, we get to you. I'm so sorry once again for doing a weird skipperoo.
Well, This thing looks like it's about to charge us.
That's right. When you start your turn, you can hear dual sounds of the underbrush moving through the forest. The thickets are being disturbed both to your south and to your north as two Elcower speedily go away and then towards you. The thickets breaking and snapping to carry or to give their bodies purchase through the area. You stand alone.
Well, I see Lee next to me, and he doesn't look like he's very speedy here, whereas the rest of us are quite speedy.
I think that old adage applies here. You don't have to be faster than the Elcower. You just need to be faster than the Groga.
I'm actually going to kind of run over, just move over and position myself here to protect them as they're moving,
Certainly.
and yell again at this Elcower. You shall not pass.
Oh, do you put your staff into the earth too and like destroy a
I don't have a
bridge?
staff, but
Very well. Is that an intimidation check you'd like to make? Because if so,
Intimidation,
I'll give you
yeah.
one. Oh,
14.
no. As you hurl your yet another shout at this creature, its bloodshot, frenzied eyes don't seem to take any notice of what is clearly a very dangerous warrior standing in its path. It sees the light glinting off the steel of your armor, and it seems almost like a target for it to aim towards. It continues barreling on towards your way. It does not seem, your intimidation does not seem to have any effect, unfortunately, on this creature. Good tries, though. What else would you like to do as you see the beast do a slight turn to change course towards you?
I mean, I'll ready myself for its inevitable attack here, so I can
Okay.
let Lee get by.
All right. He would get by, but alas, it is going to be the Elcower's turn before Lee has any chance to do anything, or Xanthar rather. It is going to dash towards you with its movement, lowering its big old mighty antlers and giving a huge crushing swing.
Is it really that big? I didn't realize it was that big.
You don't realize until it's close, right? Yeah, like I said, its huge antlers are big enough to hurdle bodies, and it does lower them. And as it goes towards you, it's going to give an upswing, almost like a nasty uppercut sort of a attack. So its attack with that is an 8.
An 8?
Does an 8 breach your AC, sir?
No. I have a 19 AC.
Of course it doesn't. You're very lucky. I will still ask you every time, just in case you want to use any different effects. That's sort of like my pause moment for you to interface. But
Sure.
Yeah, obviously an 8 doesn't hit. And as it brings its big, mighty antlers swooshing up into the air, you can hear the wind as it rushes by your body. The massive body of this thing. You just watch as some of the ferns below it grabs them with the antlers, and they was flying up into the skies and then splats down onto the rocks a second later. You know that could have easily been you. And then as it stands there and sees that it misses, it sort of goes and like a horse sort of sprays. It's sort of like this nasty nose vomit into the air. But this nasty nose vomit, like the draconic scales across its body, is more dangerous than normal vomit. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as this strange fire breath spews out of its nostrils.
That would be a 9 on a dexterity.
Ooh, that is not great. As it misses with that first antlers, but then when it spews the breath up onto your person, you can feel your armor heating up by the noxious or the strange fumes coming out of its nose. And it seems to stick there almost like a slime or like an Agent Orange kind of a thing. It's like this nasty nose funk, and it burns like an oozy slime. You do take appears 10 fire damage. Not that bad, but not so much, not so good that you want to take that every turn. And it does seem to be stuck to your body. You'll have to get rid of it or you'll take more fire damage. It does end its turn here, however. So Xanthar, we go to you. You watch as the beast tries to send your ally flying and then spews its fire all over him. You can hear it sort of crackling and burning as the ooze sticks on his armor like a goo or like a lava. What do you want to do?
Are we able to see the captain?
So as a matter of fact, you currently cannot see anything on the road. However, Solana can hear. She cannot see the captain, but she can hear the captain just like a very distorted. Instead of "Eliab," it's more of like, oh.
I just wonder if I should yell out for help. I don't. Does that count as an action?
Yelling out for help, it's a free action. You can call out to people with your voice. Each turn is 6 seconds, so long as you're being a little less long-winded than I am here, yeah.
How about like the word help? Does that count as an action?
No, you could yell the word help. That's fine.
Okay, I'll do that, and then. Oh man.
Now, strangely,
we
that's
can-
the
is it-
difference, right? Now, yelling at
How
something.
How much bigger is this creature than the last one?
Oh, it's twice as big. In all the dimensions, it's massive. Like you could fit in. I'll show you, right? You could fit in its antlers. You could just throw your body away.
I'm gonna throw my moonbeam down right on top of it, but it misses Groga.
Very well. You cast your moonbeam directly on top of its body as this radiant light shines down, this ghostly green light, as though Mach was overhead right now. You can see it begin to burn and sizzle across the flesh or the scales, I suppose, of the Elcower. What else would you like to do as you summon your moonbeam?
So, I gotta get it back into the game interface here. How far away am I here? Okay.
Go ahead and if you look at the bottom right hand corner, you'll see an M tool for toggle rulers, and then there's a 4. You could click that. That'll make it so that every time you try and move your character, you can see like a line pop up. So, for example, when I move your character, you can see this. It'll show you movement.
Okay.
So you'll know it's 15,
15 feet
into the Alcap. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna move right up to it and inflict wounds.
Oh wow! When you're casting your spells, you do have unlike attack actions, which once you reach 5th level, you can make 2 attacks per turn. You only get 1 action for cast a spell, and unfortunately, since you've cast Moonbeam, you won't be able to cast another thing like inflict wounds this time.
Okay, I'm gonna hit it with my Warhammer then on the face.
Well, so like I was saying,
I can't use it. I can't use that. Okay,
that's right, because you use your action to cast a moonbeam. So unfortunately, you're all wrapped up into that for your action. You can do bonus action things.
Okay, I'm gonna move right here, and I'm gonna cure wounds on Groga.
Cure wounds is also an action.
Healing word is a bonus action.
Totally works. Now, in a normal game of D&D, you wouldn't be able to cast 2 spells in 1 turn unless you were a sorcerer with meta magic. However, I will allow you to cast it so long as you have the bonus or you have the action economy. It's a little homebrew rule we're using. What are your healing words?
May you be healed from that thing that thing just did to you.
What a mouthful. As you walk up to him through the underbrush and you say that out loud, Groga, you do heal by 9 hit points as this red evocative light shines out of his mouth and just sort of plummets over your body like a waterfall, closing some of those wounds, getting rid of some of that fire damage. Xanthar, what else do you want to do?
I will end my turn.
Very well. That means we go back to Kami. You're so close to the road. You can see the fires, these blue soul fires lit up along the lanterns along its side. What do you want to do? However, your allies, you can hear them, the fire bursting out behind you, the sound of magic incantations being cast. They have clearly dug in and begun to fight the beast. You'll have to make a decision. Do you want to support them, or you don't even know them anyway? Just leave them to die.
I want to look at the witch that is helping me pull
Yes,
this
the witch.
beast and tell her that her companions are fools wanting to die quickly. When I'm saying that, I notice over my shoulder that there seems to be a quite well armored looking individual standing just beyond the path. And so I'm going to choose to drop the beast that I was helping carry.
Wait. Let's just pull it over. It's safety is that thing. Let's just pull it over and then we can see what we can do to help. But let's just get over there. And then we will have it won't be able to steal a bounty. There's a barrier there. I think once we're on that road, but I don't know. That's probably a lot of talking for like 6 seconds.
No, you're good. I as the
do I
dungeon
only
master,
have-
I think it's better if you're allowed to talk to each other.
Okay.
Because I will have some grueling combats. Sometimes they'll be difficult, and talking to each other can help. But I just wanted to interject here. Kami, you strangely enough can't really for sure see Capitan Claude on the road.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. I think I forgot you say that we can't really actually see them, but we can.
That's
kind of
right.
hear them.
That's right.
Excuse me. Well, do I also?
I say we get over there. Go for it. Sorry.
No, I just want to understand the rules. Do I only have a certain amount of time to actually speak?
So technically each round in combat is 6 seconds. So if you can imagine, whenever you're talking to somebody else, you do only have a limited amount of time to speak given that 6 seconds. So like what I just said would be enough. But we don't have to stick hard and fast to that rule, right?
No,
I mean,
let's stick with it. I want to kind of learn how to play this appropriately.
yeah, I won't be a real stickler for that. You can say like maybe a small paragraph, but if as soon as you start going on like a speech, then we'll have to move on.
Gotcha. Okay, I look over at the witch that is helping me, and I ask her to start pulling harder towards the road.
Let's do it. Once we're there, we're safe. We can help them from far, and hopefully they just start running.
Yeah.
Very well. You apply your ready check, Solana. Unless Kami wants to do anything else, what do you want to do?
Is that
Same
for
thing?
Solana?
Yeah.
that's
What is
for
Solana doing?
Okay, so I would want to use my movement. I get 30 feet with
Very
Kami.
well.
I think that'll make us just barely onto the road, correct?
That's right.
Okay, and then
As you get onto the road, you feel a pressure build, almost like you're walking into a wall of goo. You can hear a crackling and a burning from the soul fires as their magic seems to pull into where you guys are standing. You can see this bright whitish blue barrier as you press against the thing, and it seems to sting almost like you're touching an oven. Not enough to quite damage you, but do you want to press forward through that? What is you can also feel like the visual sort of pick up like a vibrating sort of a sound. Kami, Solana, you want to keep pushing on through that?
I would like to kind of step around, try to shove the elk in, but I want to stay out for a moment and not step forward myself quite yet.
And Kami, what about you?
Yes, I'll just go along with my companion.
Very well.
You can say which. It's okay.
No. I'm going to stick with that, by the way. Don't worry.
Please do.
As you guys push the elk cower together through the barrier, go ahead and give me either an Arcana. You can do a Strength, or I guess in this case, we'll let you use Athletics. So an Arcana and Athletics, or a just a raw, standard, flat will check, like a Wisdom check.
I will definitely do Arcana of those options.
Shocker.
Yes, I know. Truly.
And you can do that with advantage since you're together.
Okay, nice. Okay, I will do that. Okay, so 10 plus Arcana is 6, so 16.
Congratulations. You watch as the Elcower lights a flame, briefly blue fire blasting around the edges as it pushes through the barrier on the other side and disappears from sight. And you can hear Captain Cloud begin to say, well done. As they vanish. What else would you like to do?
So I'd like to use my free action to try to yell, "Hey, buddies, run!" And then I'll also say, maybe this will distract it, and I will use my very last spell I have for today to once again try
let's get in a third
Phantasmal
combat.
Force. Yeah, why not? I'm going to try to do Phantasmal Force.
Got you. All right. Phantasmal Force. What a fantastic spell for you to cast. Now, Phantasmal Force for 5th edition. How far away are you from it? I think it's 60 feet, right?
Yes. Is that
So I
too
think
far?
18 tiles is going to be 90
more than-
feet. I think
Oh,
you
shoot.
might be too far away.
I am a switchy wizard, so I
That's
will
right.
not cast that. And I'm
Are you
going
sure?
to
You fared. I just have so much health from the first encounter.
Yes, truly. But I guess if they're both in combat with it, I don't know if they're going to be able to really run. Like looking at how far away, they're not going to be able to run.
You have already moved 30 feet as well. Well,
Yeah,
25
that's true.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to even get back. Okay. I will hold my action to cast that spell for the moments within 60 feet of me.
All right.
And if it's not, then I'll burn it. But hopefully, if they run, it chases and then it triggers.
That's fantastic. That works out plenty well. All right, Groga, we come back to you as you face down the Elcower, shoulder to shoulder with your best pal, Xanthar.
Xanthar, I think this is a little too much for us.
I agree. I don't know what you're doing.
It didn't look that big from 60 feet away.
Oh yeah. It's all fun and games until the gigantic Elcower runs at you.
This music's badass too.
Tailspire developers do a really excellent job of giving you enough music that it really sets the scene for Dungeons and Dragons. If anything else, we should sell Tailspire copies for people.
I think I'll turn tail and run here.
Whoa! What happened to I can take it?
I'll take the attack of opportunity though.
Okay, you will take the attack of opportunity. You do now. I must mention, as you take your turn and you begin to turn tail to run, you do feel that burning sensation from its snot stuck to your armor. You do know that you could remove it with an action if you wanted to. Just keep that in mind. It will burn you at the end of your turn.
My thought was to start running first and see what happens.
Yeah, okay.
I might try to clean myself off as I'm running.
Now, as you do turn to run, it is going to make its opportunity attack. It is going to slam its antlers up at you to try and send you flying. This time, it's got, get this, another 8. You are a lucky man tonight.
That 20 could have been dangerous.
Oh, you're most certainly, most definitely. You get out of the way as it tries to cleave into you with its antlers, hearing the wind whistle past your body once more. You're gonna dash with your action.
I'm gonna dash. I'll take the fire damage again.
Very well. As you run away, the fire will affect you. Max damage, 12 fire as you end your turn. Unfortunately. What else would you like to do as the burning sets in and the clanking of your armor resounds your defeated tone?
Just I'm gonna be yelling Xanthar, run.
Very well. We go to the Elcower, staring down our lonely cleric left here in the battle. It is indeed going to slam its antlers into you as it has tried to do to the other two times. Now, I gotta say, Groga's taking all the luck with him. And he's leaving none with you. It is a 23 to hit. Does 23 breach your AC, Xanthar?
You might be muted again, bud.
I think so. I think. I don't think we can hear you. I think you're muted. Or perhaps there's a mic issue with the input.
I saw him disconnect and reconnected again real quick, but
Oh, I think we're missing him in the tail spire too. As a matter of fact, his internet must have blipped briefly.
Did he freeze on
Maybe
the
it's
stream there?
still gone.
You can't kill him while he's not here, right?
Of course not. No, no.
It's like how like you have like your freeze frames. You can't get hit while you're stabbing. So.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Good.
So the Elcower sort of readies its antlers. It goes on the upswing with its head, but alas, the whole world stops. It freezes into motion.
You guys,
yeah, we can hear you now.
Hey, you're back.
my cat knocked me off the computer, so sorry.
Those darn cats. Was it Beerus?
Yeah, it was Beerus.
How dare he? He just
So-
did he go up to your desktop and he pushed the power button?
Why did I
Mine-
take an opportunity?
mine
I
is
took an
not bad.
opportunity attack, or I took a regular attack.
He's attacking you on his turn. Let me know when you're back in the tail spire and I'll pull you back to the board.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so that would hit me.
Yeah, very well. Now, as the antlers slam into your body, it does deal 12 piercing damage immediately. But then it hurtles you up into the air as it lifts its massive head, and you could feel yourself lifted 40 feet up into the air. Now, would you like to roll the D8 to determine what direction you get thrown, or would you like me to?
You can do it.
Very well. We'll say 1 is north on the compass going to the right. And that is a 4, which is extremely lucky for you, extraordinarily, as you are going to plummet back down to the ground, about 25 feet away from it, closer to your allies. However, as you plummet down from the skies, you are going to take some fall damage. I misspoke earlier when I said 40 feet. It is actually 20 feet. So luckily for you, that is only 2d6 instead of 4d6. But you do take 7 bludgeoning damage as you splat onto the ground. The Elcower sort of like throws its antlers into the air. You can hear it do this sort of a grunting noise as it is going to stare you down and prepare a charge attack. Xanthar, we go to you. What are you gonna do?
So am I prone or am I on my feet?
Maybe an acrobatics check. Well,
Okay.
why not?
So I got kicked out of D&D Beyond too.
Oh no! Yeah, well, yeah, of course, because you lost connection to everything.
Yeah. See if I can shoot. My dice are not even
That's the
around.
proof to being on paper, I guess. You know, cats can't turn off paper.
Yeah.
Well, I
Make
tell
it-
you what, if the risk or if for having a cat, if the penalty is just you lose your computer every now and again, then I say it's worth it. However, you might want to just like put some tape over that button or something. Spray.
Okay,
with
Brad,
water.
can you roll for me?
Yeah. What are we looking at? A D20 here, or what's?
Yeah, I don't even know what my dexterity is. I'm logging in right now.
It's okay. Take your
come on.
time.
I rolled
Ooh.
an 18 for you.
Congratulations, you do land onto your feet regardless of your modifier. This is well enough to pass the DC that I have in my mind. So yes, you plant yourself down onto the ground. Your mind, shocked from the moment of being airborne for a few moments. But you do land onto your feet. You can feel a crunch in your bones and your joints.
So I'm going to double dash to that barrier and try to cross it if I can.
You're gonna go to your 60 feet.
Yeah.
Very well. You dash as close as you can possibly get. You are just barely on the verge of going through the barrier. You can see the blue energy field sort of pop up. You can feel the humming sort of in the air, but you do not pass through it yet. Anything else you'd like to do? But you do get away from the monstrous Elcower.
I don't think I have any more action, so I think that's it.
Very well. Kami, we go to you. The allies have decided that they don't want to tangle with the Elcower anymore. What about you? You want to turn around and fight it now that they're with you?
No, I'd like to do just a cheering action and route my companions quicker towards me.
Sure. You just want to stand there, pass your turn?
That's it. I just want to pass my turn.
Okay, you pass your turn. Solana, we go to you. I think you're muted now.
Thank you. Easier fix. I just forgot
No
to hit
problem.
the button.
I certainly understand.
So Solana feels her spell fizzle out just because she knows that the Elcower did not end up stepping within 60 feet of her, but that's okay. She's just going to say, why are we all standing on this side? And then just hop 5 feet back and just kind of hop on the other side. Feel like she's hopefully okay, but just for safety, use her action on the other side to take like the dodge action, just in case for whatever reason this Elcower is able to get through.
Sure. As you push through the barrier, go ahead and give me once again either the Arcana, the Athletics, or a Wisdom check.
Let's do Arcana.
As you can feel the burning sensation of the fire lash up.
Okay, 15.
Congratulations, you barely make the saving throw. You can feel the fire beginning to burn down to your body, but then you remind the soul fires that you are in fact a sentient creature and your station at the Verdot estate. And as the fires reach your body, they scan and realize, oh yes, you belong here. And you can hear a voice speak out to you. Welcome. You pass on to the other side. Captain Cloud looks to you and says, what is that? I've never seen such a thing.
You haven't seen what we were supposed to kill?
No, this I have seen, but what is that?
Oh, I'll look around and
He
see.
points towards the gigantic Elcower on the other side. of the
Oh,
barrier.
yeah, that's bad. We're fine now, though, right? Right?
Oh, merde. He begins grabbing the Elcower and says, help me.
Okay. I'll try and start helping him.
Very well. You two drag the Elcower down the road back towards the in the direction of the estate, but you do keep your dodge action prepared. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That'll be it.
All right, Groga, we go back to you. Last of the pack. What do you got? You watch as Solana goes through the barrier and disappears on the other side.
And we've done this before, right? So we came through, so I'm somewhat familiar with that effect.
Mhm.
I'll use my first move to get up here, and then I will. Does Lee look okay? I mean, he just kind of got knocked up in the air. He looks reasonable.
Xanthar looks as though he's seen a pretty rough day out here in the field. His armor, his Warforged body is crumpled and broken in a few places. You can see huge dents into the armor, maybe a hole or two from a puncture from the antlers. And there's some soil. This is the worst part. Not only is he damaged, but man, you can see that inside of the plates and the joints of his Warforged body, there's like dirt and some soil in there, a little bit of like vines that are stuck inside. Somebody's gonna have to tend to that. And you know he's gonna make you do it later.
He's not looking good, huh?
No.
Does it look feasible for me to like tackle him into where Solana disappeared?
It does, yes. It looks like you could do that.
Let's do that.
All right, now this is what I would consider a potentially non-consensual PvP moment. So, Xanthar, do you accept Groga's tackle into the barrier? You are muted, my friend.
Saying I don't like to be touched without my permission, but I'll allow this time.
You'll allow. Okay, just this one. Very well. By all means, you go and tackle him through the barrier. Give me the athletics check.
Oh my God, where'd that die go? 12, 17.
Congratulations, you two barely pass your way through forcibly onto the other side. And as you dive over top with Xanthar in your grasp, you both are knocked down onto the ground, but safe. And you can see finally Solana, the Elcower, and Capitan Cloud as they drag the body down the road away from you. Already
Well,
on their way
I don't know
down.
if I still have any kind of action, or if that would be my action, but I'll try to get the
it'll be your
fire
action.
off of me if possible. If not, it's fine.
It is unfortunately your action to do the tackle, so you will take an additional fire damage. And don't worry here, it's not nearly as bad as last time. It's just max damage again. Like
Jeez.
another 12 fire.
12?
Minimum of 2, max of 12. For you are lucky, all the luck to you this session. All your rolls are great, I guess.
I would be dead if that was me. Just
Yeah, I'm-
fully dead.
I'm a hurting unit.
Yes, not so good. We go to the Elcower with just one target left in sight. Kami, our monk. And it is going to do its darndest to dash over to him, but unfortunately, even with its 80 feet of movement, it cannot reach Kami this turn. It barrels down upon him from the woods, lowering its antlers, readying to decimate or destroy what's in front of it. And you can see that it is stampeding right towards the barrier. You don't know if it's going to keep it out or not. Xanthar, go to you.
Okay.
You are laying prone onto the road. You can feel the crushing blow of your ally's armored body slam down on top of you, the weight of several hundred pounds over top of your body. The road, however, a welcome sight, and this slight burning sensation as you pass the barrier back onto the highway. What do you want to do?
I should be able to get up and then
You can.
make
It's
it
half
to-
your movement to get up.
Yeah. So then try to make it to the road, and then I don't know if I have an action left after that.
Yes, it's just half your movement to get up. Well, just still quite a lot. But you can still move 15 feet, and you can cast spells. You can make attack rolls. Now, the Elcower isn't with you, so nothing to attack.
It's not.
You can see it, however.
Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna just do Twilight Sanctuary on top of myself as it emanates from me. So 1d6 plus 3 hit points. And then I'm gonna try to make it as close to these guys as I can.
You want to move towards them and then do Twilight Sanctuary, or you want to do the other way around? Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Very well. You cast your Twilight Sanctuary, and then you continue to move outward towards your allies, 15 feet as far as you could possibly go. With that, you got like this, the moonbeam that you had cast earlier before shining down upon you seems to move to where you're at now, emanating from your body. Anything else you'd like to do?
That's it.
All right, you carry that dim light around you, and we go to Kami.
Back just in time.
Perfect.
So it's 11 plus.
Noticing that my companions have suddenly left me in my absence of consciousness while I was staring at this big beast, I'm going to use my dash ability to catch up to them.
Very well. They're not that far away, but you can dash, but I don't think you'll need to. I do need, as you go through the barrier, you feel a fiery burning sensation as these blue flames go towards you. And all of your allies are on the other side. You've never felt this before. You can feel that burning sensation before it hits. You should make me an Arcana check, a Wisdom saving throw, or an Athletics check.
Oh my goodness.
Your choice out of the three.
You said Arcana, Athletics, or
Arcana, Athletics, or a Wisdom saving throw.
I'm gonna go with that Athletics for sure.
Very well. Go ahead and
Ooh, an 8.
ooh. As you try to push in through the barrier, the blue flames burn across your body, searing fire that courses through you. You can hear a voice say through the flames,
You are not known. You are not welcome.
the barrier actually pushes you back against you and does not let you in.
I'm gonna die. Can I...
You take a
How
mere
many hit
4
points do you have?
fire damage, 4 radiant damage, as the souls blast that blue soul fire into your body.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Can I take a bonus action and try it again?
You can technically it's not an action to pass pass through the barrier. It's just your movement to do that. So it's really not an action economy.
Mhm.
I'll say let's say this. Let's say it's half movement to go through if you fail. So you get 1 additional chance.
I'm gonna take it.
By all means, you got the same 3 options.
I'm gonna do another athletics. That's the best thing I got. Oh, what is that? 24.
Oh, congratulations. You get through the barrier as you bird onto the other side. You can hear the wall say to you, however,
Intruder recognized.
Oh goodness.
Alarm breached.
and suddenly you can all of you who are inside together in the road, you see the soul fire shoot a beam up into the air. This is just singular blue fire that rises up, and then there's this brief ear-splitting booming noise, this crescendo that ignites. If we were on Discord, I'd have this cannon sound that you'd hear, but I don't have it here for you. Nevertheless, as that boom goes off, you know that people at the Verdot estate will know that somebody who's unwanted, some unwarranted intrusion has entered their territory. Kami, what do you want to? You take no radiant damage though. It's good, right? What else do you want to do with your turn? I believe it's all of your movement. You may be muted if you're talking.
There you go.
It's just the night for it, I think. It's
Yeah,
the
it
theme
is.
of the night.
It's the mute cooties all over the place.
That's right.
I'm going to pass on my turn and just be grateful that I got past the barrier.
Very well. At this point, Solana, we go to you. You are helping the Capitan take the Elcower away. It seems as though your whole entire team is here on the other side now. All that remains to see is if the other massive Elcower is going to risk charging into the barrier as it watches everyone go into the nothingness and vanish. The suspense is killing me as I wait for you to
I knew it this time. I was just so stumped on what to do. I didn't know what to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of random sounding, but we're on this road. We know that going back towards we're going goes back to the estate.
That's
Do
right.
I by chance know where just continuing on this road goes?
The other direction?
Yes.
So there are signs placed it. If you hold tab, you can actually read them. But in the direction where you are currently going, like kind of off screen, that is the Verdot estate. And then if you were to go in the other direction, all the way on the other side, you can see on the map and notice that it'll take you to the Verdot hinterlands. So it's further into the forest and closer to this more hilly area up to where these mountains are located.
Okay.
And just in
Yeah.
general, just so you have an understanding of the whole lay of the land, if you were to go to the south on the other side of the road, that would take you further into the forests. If you were to go to the northeast, like where the river is going, that river you could follow to the festering wilds, which is more like a swamp-like territory.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. Oh, and then there's one final sign you may not have seen. where the cavern is at, where this big creature came from, and that takes you to this place known as the Dark Caverns. Wow, what a great name! I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful things for you there.
Sounds very bright and beautiful for
Yes, Rosie
Yeah.
Road.
sure. I would
Mhm.
blend in perfectly. Yeah.
Well, your hands would. At
Yeah, my hands would. I'll give you that.
least 10%.
I'll kind of turn to Kami, having heard these. Did we all hear the alarms and all that?
Yes, everyone is very
Yes,
aware.
okay.
It's very noticeable.
Kami, are you like friends with the Vokto, or do we need to hide you? I'll just kind of use my act to kind of talk about that, and kind of secretly she crosses her fingers behind her back, hoping that this wall holds up against the elk hour. You know,
Yeah,
just in
very
case,
well.
just to be
And-
safe.
That sounds like turn. Groga, we go to you. You're through the barrier. You're slammed onto the floor. Xanthar's pushed you off of his body. You sort of roll onto the street. What do you want to do?
Well, I'll certainly get up.
Good first start.
We'll use half of my movement then.
I'm going to actually continue taking your turn, but I'm going to place the Twilight Sanctuary so everyone
Sure.
can see. Wish we could target them on minis.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it should have something that could stay on the mini. In any event, I'll try to clean off that fire stuff off me immediately.
Very well. Go ahead and take your action, and when you take your action to get rid of that fire, it does just sort of you take your sword or a weapon of some sort, maybe your hand, you slide it off the gunk and the fuzz. It sort of sticks to your hand. You wave it around into the air, and you can see it sort of stinging and burning as it lands onto the road and dissipating. What else would you like to do?
I think that's I don't think I need to cast Sanctuary. I'm thinking this will protect us where we're at.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I'll
Totally.
be thinking about casting.
What's the worst that
Sanctuary,
could happen?
But I won't. I'll be good. I'm done.
My strategy, what I like to do is think to myself, what's the bare minimum I could do to get away? Right? Like, what's the bare, if I barely pass, that's great. That's good enough, right?
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong? Not to dig that. I mean, you have very little options. I'm not, you're doing the best you got, really. As you end your turn, and Solana, same to you. Is our cleric, are you rolling the temp hit points for them for your Twilight Sanctuary?
It was 6.
It's 6. Okay, so you guys are getting the 6 temporary hit points from the Twilight Sanctuary. If you aren't putting that onto your hit points, now's a good time. But now being before the elk hour does stuff. I mean, now it's the elk hour's turn, and the elk hour does just see these people vanish on the other side. It watches as this gigantic light booms up into the sky, and as it sees that light there inside of the air, it is going to charge at the barricade and try and break through onto the other side. As it makes that charge towards the barricade, you watch as its antlers get rebuffed as though it hits a brick wall. Congratulations, only gets a 10 to make it through. The elk hour is going to then spend the rest of its time moving back further away and trying to find out where y'all went. And with that, congratulations, party. This combat is over. As it ends, you hear the sounds of the elk hour moving just a few paces off of the broken road, or the Soulfire lanterns away from your road. What is it you'd like to say or do before you continue dragging the elk hour back to the estate?
You're muted. Yeah.
Capitan Claude, what was that loud noise? It sounded like a cannon.
Oh, yes. That would be the emergency alarm. It will tell everyone at the estate that there is an intruder among us. And speaking of this, who are you?
So, he's a comrade of ours that we found out in the wilderness and needed help. I'm going to try to. I don't know if I need to persuade. I think the alarm was from the elk hour.
Oh,
You want to do is
absolutely. It definitely was.
by all means, party. Go ahead and give me a deception check, Groga, and you may do so at with advantage, given that you have
Really?
assistance from Solana. Oh boy, a nat 20.
23.
All right. Hey, that is with our nat 20 here. We ask you, would you like personal success or group success?
Let's do a group success.
Very well. As you try to tell Captain Cloud that it wasn't this person, it was the Elcower, you watch as the Soulfire flames to your voice seem to shoot a ray of fire out at the Elcower's behind. It's trailing through the air. And as it blasts into his body, the Elcower sort of gives it and then begins sprinting out into the back towards the river and out of sight. Captain Cloud turns around watching the scene and says, it was, so it was. Very well, you have accomplished your tasks. Shall we be off then?
Definitely.
Is there a place for us to rest as well? Like, do we have to immediately see the back door, or can we, like, pause for chance?
Do you want to remain out here?
I mean, we'll still go back. I just mean before, do we need to, like, present this to anyone, or are we just good to get our money and go?
You think this is no way to send out an Elcower for my master? Of course, it needs to be treated. It needs to have its head slashed off its body and prepared properly.
Okay, perfect. We can. Okay, cool. I'm going to. Before we start walking away, I'd like to use a cantrip called Message to message over to Kami. Hey, I think we should probably come up with some sort of reason of why you exist. I just feel like falling from the sky will look a little fishy. So maybe let's try and like stall before we have to see the heads of this estate.
Now,
so we club him while he's not looking. We just club him.
When you cast the message spell to Kami, now what you essentially do is you're talking to Captain Cloud, you turn away from him, and then you point at Kami and you begin to cast your spell. This orange light glows, the transmutation magic takes effect, and you say the message, whispering it. Captain Cloud looks to you and sort of does a curious motion, places his hand toward his sword for a moment as you watch as you cast directly in front of his face, saying like, we need to get a background story. Yes, message does let you cast secretly to people, but it has a verbal and somatic component to it, which means you do have to do the pointing gesture and you have to say your message aloud. Got to be careful.
Capitan, if you can't tell, we're in dire need of healing right now. We're injured.
The captain looks between the two of you and says, "Yes, you are in no position to fight me." He takes the sword out, raising it towards the caster to Solana, and says, "What was that you are saying? That was magic you were casting."
I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask him. Okay, they heard me talk. Was it loud enough for them to hear what I said? Do I know?
He is just 5 feet away from you, so yes. Unfortunately, he does hear your message. So he heard you say like, "Hey, we need to come up with a reason you're here." Yeah, he got it all.
Okay. I'll put my hands up and say, "I'm sorry, he literally just fell from the sky, and I just felt like that was kind of weird to come out and say. But that's what happened, truly. You heard me whisper that was weird."
Come again?
I mean,
yes,
her wisdom is terrible, and so is her intelligence. So as much as it was me forgetting how the spell works, it kind of makes sense for her too. So
yeah, all right.
I'll just be like honest with them. Just be like, I'm sorry. I just didn't know. Like, falling from the sky just felt very suspicious. So I thought we'd come up with something that made more sense. But that's truly the only reason why he's here.
Oh. Hey, you. Stop.
Who,
He
me?
points the sword back at Kami. And
I
says,
just
come
mouthed
over here.
sorry.
S'il vous plaît.
Okay.
Approchez-moi. Et as you walk slightly closer, he will move just a little bit closer to you. And with the sword, he sort of gestures to the ground and taps it twice and says, "Stay right there. How did you get here? These grounds are not open."
I honestly do not know. I woke up here and your friends were standing around me. And that is the only thing I know. And then before the elk are attacked us.
Oh, I see. And your reason for being here?
I don't even know. The last I remember, I was with my family.
Well, he looks around. You can hear the armor shifting and clanking as he moves. I don't see them here, do you?
Neither do I.
So, families don't disappear randomly. They must be
That's what I
somewhere.
thought.
Where
Honestly,
did you
good
last
sir.
see them?
Honestly, good sir, I'm just as confused as you are. I'm just hungry and tired and would like to figure out how to get home.
Ça va, ça va. Mais this place your family was, so where was it?
Oh gosh, that's bad because I can't remember the place.
You
And
cannot
whatnot.
remember where your family was.
No, I do
You
recall their
don't have
face.
any memory. We must take you to the interrogation room, not to interrogate you per se, but to help you find out your missing memories. We will take you to our appointed mage. How does this sound? We will find your family together.
Any help would be most welcome.
As I am not a monster. He slides the sword back in its hilt. You can hear a stick as it reappears or disappears back into the scabbard, and he does like sort of a hand motion to have everyone turn around and says, "All together now, back to the estate."
Okay.
He is going to move at the center of your group. Does anyone want to say or do anything while you move back to the estate as a unit?
I think I did the damage I wanted to do. So, it's.
No, no damage at all. You're progressing the story.
I'll ask.
I-
Oh, good. Good.
I was gonna say I'd like to follow the captain, but at the same time, given very disappointing look, kind of like a snide eye at my companions for putting us in a worse position.
Oh.
Like
well,
this.
all those nice things I said about you, which take them back.
I
Very
know,
well.
I know.
You give us a snide eye to your companions. What does anybody else want to do, if anything?
Ask Captain Claude. That other Elkower was quite large. Have you seen one of those before?
Absolutely no. No. This is entirely new. Where did it come from?
I don't know. We were dragging this one over here when that one appeared. It was a little larger than I thought.
Tell him about the weird looking guy, the illusion.
Oh, mais non! Another mystery?
I didn't see it. Someone else will have to inform him.
Well, maybe that had something to do with it.
So it was like tall and black with like blue eyes, and it was kind of gave me like godly vibes.
Oh, incroyable! Les manifestations Wehrmacht. Eh?
The what?
Perhaps you have seen a visit of the god? Hmm? Les dieux?
Visitor of the what exactly?
Visage. The visage.
Sorry, I'm not from here.
With
So
your
the
eyes.
accent is it's working on it. Is that like
Like
a
a-
regular occurrence here?
Oh, mais non. No. It is quite rare to come across a visage of the dieu. Termarked does not appear to the normal people. There has to be some reason he appeared to you.
Is it usually a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, c'est magnifique! Bien sûr, this is a good sign. If what you have seen is truly les dieux, Termarked.
It showed up right where we found him. So
Ah! So it is.
Hey, don't you blame me, witch.
I'm trying to give you credit. It sounds like a good thing. He sounds
Oh,
really
this is
excited.
wonderful. Yeah, certainly you're important. All the better that we introduce you to the Lord of the Manor. Perhaps we will give you a nice cleaning up, remove the robes from your body, dress you up as a nobleman of sorts, and together we present you to Lord Ferdo.
I'm sorry.
How would you think to be hosted, wined, and dined inside the Lord's Manor?
Well, I am
Huh?
hungry and I am thirsty and I'm tired. I think it's a good idea. Let's go.
Well, onward we travel. He, will continue on back on the course as you go back towards the estate. As he now has the idea to present you to the Lord of the Manor. Anybody else want to say or do anything as you continue on transit?
Before he's presented, will we have some time to relax and make sure that we are also well presented? It just takes me a while to look nice, you know.
Oh, bien sûr, of course. This is possible. I would hate to have you reflect a poor attitude or behavior for myself. You must clean up.
Thank you. Thank you.
He gestures to all of you as though all of it is wrong. Must all go. Very well. Hearing nothing else, I will transition us to the new map. So bear with me for a moment. Talk amongst yourselves, and we'll be straight away onto the next scene.
I think that's a lot of fun.
I had my nat 20 there, Hannah, and you
That-
took care of
that-
that real quick.
Yeah, no. If you wanted any positives to come from that, don't worry. I can just get that slate nice and clean again. But I did kind of give it. It was your advantage roll that made the nat 20, so
Yeah.
I give it and I take it away.
Yeah.
So, little feedback for anybody that's watching this maybe later. And I guess being the newbie to this, I would definitely ask your guys' input on this. Seeing how the game kind of progresses, interacting with the dungeon master, the story, and how the game actually interacts with ourselves as well as we're kind of making things up on the fly. Definitely would behoove you. I mean, I think I would suggest, and you guys can jump in on this, but I would suggest while you're building your character, like actually taking the time to read the backstory of your character and maybe even your companions before you start a campaign. I noticed myself that there was a couple of times there maybe I could have involved myself a little bit more if I would have known a couple of the ins and outs of like my character, my companion's character, and even possibly even the realm itself. Would that be a fair assessment for anybody that's looking to play the game?
Yeah, the only thing I would add in is that some of the fun of it's fun to build in either like knowing your party or not knowing your party and like learning their backgrounds together. So I think there can be a good mix of, say you started off knowing this other player, so your characters already knew each other, so you know some of their backgrounds, and other times you don't know them at all, then you get to kind of explore the mystery of their stories as well. So
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because, say, take it from somebody like me that I haven't read or kept up with a lot of the, because there's a lot of variations of D&D, and there's a lot of stories and books and uh, that are combined and whatnot. But for somebody that is interested, sees that it's being fun, or maybe even just has a group of people that, hey, it could be very fun if they just trying to learn as they go, kind of like myself. Is it? I mean, it's possible, obviously, because I'm doing it now. But you guys are kind of handicapping me and like helping me on with this. What would be your guys' suggestion to somebody who wants to get like the fast track? Not like all of it, but just the fast track enough to where they could play. Like, is there like a start from here and then you get like a general gist, or is there like a cliff notes for dummies when it comes to it or something like that? Like, what would you guys suggest?
I just think you have to play. And
Just kind of
like you
jump
learned.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were great the first time, so
How about
I
how
mean,
about?
it's an easy game to pick up to play. It's hard to be dungeon master.
Well, yeah, definitely. Popcorn. What do you think about like potential players in the future? What would you suggest to them, other than just like obviously reading up on the lore when you're doing your D&D Beyond or your character maker? What would be your suggestion for somebody to have a better time playing?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that this is my answer is probably going to be different than most people's. I'm really old school, like I've mentioned many times now. I mean, I still make my character sheets with like a paper and pen. So I'm maybe not the best person to ask,
Yeah.
but I always thought that I have a lot of people that play Dungeons and Dragons with me, a lot of people who are new to the game, and what I find most commonly is even once you become like a more advanced player, a more proficient player, the people I can tell a difference between people who have read through the player's handbook or like the various different handbooks that you have to like buy from Wizards of the Coast. I'm not trying to, I do not get a commission. I am in no way, shape, or form involved with Wizards. But I do think that having that material and just giving it a read through gives you this like game mechanics, game knowledge literacy that really shows when you're playing the game. You kind of like have a better understanding of why you can do the things you can do. Whereas when you use D&D Beyond, I think this is what most people do these days because it holds your hand, right? It gives you like a pretty good guide of, this is who you are, this is what you can do. It just railroads you through the experience, so it's really easy and streamlined. You can do it really fast. But like the hour or two it takes to read through the player's handbook and create the character yourself, it leaves you with an understanding of, oh, I can do Stunning Strike as a monk, or I can do a bonus action as a monk because I get it from my class and I get it from X level of my class, and you can read it and visualize it. You can sort of feel it if you have the physical edition. So I always tell people to do that, but if you're not somebody who's a visual learner, or you're not you don't want to have it in your hand, and you don't want to read through the text. I get we're not in a literal or we're in an oral culture now. We're not in a literary culture. So there's a lot of YouTube videos out there of people who do a really fantastic job of breaking down what you can and can't do and how to do let's play sort of games. Like Ginny D is a really great YouTube artist who's got just a ton of information out there. She presents it in a way that's easy to digest, and she's entertaining too, right? So she's going to keep you interested. So I would watch somebody like Ginny D and try and get a good handle on things. And then there is Wizards of the Coast will sell like a beginner's guide modules that are meant for you to go through as a first character. They're even great if you're a new to DMing and you want to give that a try. So I would recommend doing one of the like essentials starter sets and just play around with that.
I want to and this is up to the party too, but I think this is very interesting because I've been thinking about this, and I think the game is very fun. I think the experience obviously very entertaining. But I would like to actually, if you guys don't mind, and I'll be honest, I actually don't have that much more time to play tonight. That's unfortunate, but like my wife stepped in here a few times, and I guess apparently I need to like help the kids later. But if you guys don't mind, I think it would be very beneficial if we pause the gameplay from here and actually just, I would like to pick each one of you guys' brains about questions like these, because I've actually been getting asked questions, even
Sure.
while we've been playing now, about things like I just said, for people that, have heard obviously of D&D, have, friends that play it, may have been interested in it some form or fashion because of maybe other genre games that are like fantasy MMO based and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to kind of like take that next step because of like the name recognition, just the, you play MMOs, whether it be World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, RuneScape, or whatever it was. The first and foremost one that ever really was like mainstream was Dungeons and Dragons. Like basically, right? Like there was a couple like, but it was Dungeons and Dragons that made it like what it is. And so like there's a lot of people that go, okay, I've played all these other things, and I'm kind of like maybe making assumptions, but amidst the fantasy role playing like active elites or like uppers that are really involved, you're just LARPing until you actually play a D&D game, right? Like you're just like, until you've actually experienced that in some like whether it's the board game or whether it's online like this, like unless you've actually played, you don't play fantasy games. Like you played the MMO story based like cookie cutter. I get it, and you feel like it's open world, but you've not played a D&D game. And so again, I'm just being real. I've actually had quite a bit from the first video we've done to even now while we've been playing. People have asked like, okay, this looks fun. I was getting messages like, hey, I actually had to walk my dog, so I had to excuse myself, but they were saying, hey, this looks interesting, but I know nothing about D&D. And I had told them like, neither do I. And I kind of said the same thing Lee said, just play, like, like just jump in. It wasn't really that hard. You're right. D&D Beyond. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it was the website that I was showing the guys here. I'm sorry, and our lady, our resident lady, that has our character.
I go
build.
by Guy too. It's okay.
Cool. It's good to know. But it does hold your hand. It does kind of give you a really brief, quick snapshot of like what you're getting into and a good understanding, at least enough to kind of like just jump in there and play and get your feet wet. But let me just start because I obviously would like to end with you, Popcorn. But
sure, I'll stay quiet.
Yeah, Solana, when you first got into this, because you're not only a player, but you tried to DM as well, from what I recapped listening last time, right? When you first got, like, how did you first find yourself into Dungeons and Dragons? I guess that would help better get people to better understand, like maybe where they could also start getting interested.
Yeah.
Was it from a book? Was it from a video, like Popcorn was saying? Like, where did you start?
Absolutely. So I started where I think honestly a lot of people have started. It was college, freshman year in a dorm. I had some friends that knew how to play. I was curious about it. And someone at the time recommended I try out this new show that actually is people streaming D&D. It's a little show called Critical Role. Definitely has not blown up in popularity or been crazy successful or anything like that.
Is this on YouTube?
This is on YouTube.
I'm gonna be ignorant when I ask this.
No, you're good.
Dang.
Well,
Wait,
have you not seen Critical Role yet?
I have. I just want to for the people that don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
That makes sense. So
if you haven't, you need to go watch it.
It's amazing. It is. So it's a bunch of as they quote it, nerdy ass voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was honestly the first time where people really started to stream a live game of D&D. They kind of started the whole movement. This was back in like 2015 that they started. They now have an animated show on Amazon Prime called The Legend of Vox Machina. Highly recommend it. It's great. I was one of the Kickstarters way back when. My cat literally here, his name is Paylor, which is the name of the sun god in Matt Mercer's Critical Role D&D world. So I'm a bit of a fan, to say the least. But yeah, that's honestly getting to watch it and kind of see how, like, why the rules are the way they are, how you role play, was really helpful for me. Because I think the biggest hurdle for me was how the heck am I supposed to role play? Still something I'm improving on to this day, but that's okay. That's the fun of it. But they do a really good job of balancing how combat works, how role playing works, how to make an emotional story that's entertaining. So I honestly would recommend trying out watching a show like that. There's plenty of people now who play D&D online. such as ourselves now. And it's, I think, a really good way just to kind of see how it works. And then I think it's easier to then go back and look at the books. I did grow up, I have my, player's handbook on my bookshelf over here. I definitely learned by reading through that. And I do think that's also very helpful. So I would start there.
So look up Critical. I put the link in the chat too. So like good crutch is Critical Role. Just and that's okay.
Probably the easiest to start would be Campaign 2, just because Campaign 1, they were figuring out like tech issues. They were starting in the middle of a campaign they were already doing back home. It's a great campaign. Don't get me wrong, you have to go back to it. But if you want an easy place to start, Campaign 2 is hilarious, super entertaining, super moving. And it's completed too, so you can watch the whole thing. It's only like 140 episodes that are like 3 to 5 hours, but you got time.
So let me kind of I was gonna go in an order, but let me kind of zigzag. Popcorn, could you give the viewers kind of like a brief recap into like how the history of D&D, like did it start off as a book first, or did it start off as a game? Like what is
war
D&D?
games? They were war games, right?
I mean, so to give the history of just D&D in like a condensed format, I don't know if that's possible. But I think what D&D really harkens back to like early Lord of the Rings, like with Tolkien publishing his books, like the first one that comes over to the US is like a smashing hit, right? And then there's some difficulty getting it's so good, people want it so badly here in the States, that his editors actually force him to publish the second book. Like he doesn't even get around to it, right? He doesn't want to publish it. He's just kind of like, it's done, it's fine. I tell my stories to my kid, that sort of a thing. But there's so much intense pressure from the West wanting to, just craving that substance, the fantasy genre, that people started across colleges across the United States. They tried to start replicating those stories that they had heard. And so they started doing these tabletop role-playing games, sort of a thing, like Hannah had said, like a bunch of nerdy role players in their basements or their dorm rooms, just like most of us come to D&D, I think. Still to this day, the tradition is alive and well. Eventually, you get some standardization of rules, and people go to conferences, they get to meet one another. That is amazing that you have that.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
So I found this at an auction. I have a couple of them. It's some of the original pamphlets from the 1970s, the first ever edition of Dungeons and Dragons by Gary Gygax.
Yeah,
so I've got I don't have like a complete set because this is like one of 3 and I don't have the other 2, but these will be getting framed and put in my future office. So if we're going to talk like the history of D&D, yes, these are some of the originals. Like you can flip through them and there's like charts and information.
I feel like I wouldn't even be like, that looks like a comic book, like it's like Spider-Man like deal to me. Like I wouldn't even be flipping that page. I would just be like plastic and in a.
You gotta show it, it's not fun if it's just hidden away, it is wrapped in plastic in a box sheltered from the sun until I can get it framed in something. But it's safe at the moment.
So to go back to you, Popcorn. So let me understand. So and other people, so D&D was basically like the people's way of trying to expand the world that people like Tolkien and all that like brought to the masses because of the lack of like publishing with his books and whatnot. Like people just were like, well, we're gonna expand ourselves and play these games, and it kind of just caught on.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that, but essentially, people, they get caught up with this idea of fantasy, of a world beyond our own, and in a lot of ways, people are excited about that, right? It catches the imagination. It's almost like nationalism, where you start drawing imaginary lines in your head, imaginary borders, and your mind sort of takes it from there and gets all excited, right? And there was just like this intense need that wasn't being fulfilled, and they darn well found a way to fill it themselves, right?
Now
Start publishing, the rest is history.
Dungeons. So it started like just by the people, but eventually a company catches on and like puts out D&D officially.
Right.
What company is like who was that? And if do you can you is that a little bit much, or like can you
It's
build
a
upon that?
lot. There's very famously when Wizard or when the first people get together from these conferences, they start building these pamphlets, they start selling them across college campuses. They get into a fair few different scats and disagreements about how things should be run. And so there's some schisms that happen. People leave the company, they start their own different editions. And so it is quite fairly involved. It's not like a very streamlined, easy process. Um, but suffice to say, yeah, a company starts selling these across the US and standardizes what we know today as D&D.
This sounds interesting though. There should be a definite YouTube
Oh,
video.
there is.
Yeah, the you
There's
I
definitely.
well, this is okay. This is what I'm trying to get. We'll look that up. And actually, during the next one, I'm going to challenge you guys as well. If you guys all want to find your best references for people that may be wanting to play the game, or that to try to like get people to have a better understanding, bring that to the table and let's share it. Let's share it to the people, and so that they have a better understanding of what they might be getting into, and why it's so fun and so appealing to so many people. I do want to go, Brad, to you. Brad, how did you first start off in Dungeons and Dragons? Like, what's your story?
Trying to keep it succinct, but my aunts and uncles played. Yeah, I mean, with the advanced Dungeons and Dragons sets.
You had the red box?
Yes, in the 70s, and
I
I kind of
love
discovered
that.
it. Yeah, when I was younger, dug into it, just loved the idea. Started creating my own, dungeons and characters and whatnot. But I also played like Hero Quest, which was a good, and I would recommend a game like that for someone that's getting into it as well. As far as just a miniatures game, I think Descent is probably the newer version that makes sense, and that actually has a GM. So for a group that is just starting, that board game really helps kind of you learn the underlying elements of GMing and the dice and character, like miniatures combat aspect, not the theater of mind. That's a different aspect, certainly. But no, I mean, since then I have a collection behind me as well, just miniatures and books, and I've been GMing for years, board gaming as well. Lee got me into 3D printing, so we started printing, 3D figurines, doing the painting. So that I don't know, the D&D hobby is more than just the D&D aspect as well. I mean, I played other systems, but 3D printing, the board gaming, the role playing, just the community too. Just being with a group of friends and playing the game that's half of it to me as well. Just the camaraderie and enjoyment, sharing the experience, right?
I feel like that's something that's lacking. And then anybody wants to jump in on this, like that to me, maybe now that you said it, it's making me realize again, like why this is so appealing to me, because I feel like as technology has advanced throughout the years, that is definitely something, like that human interaction, that time spent with friends, quality time spent with friends, and or making new friends and acquaintances, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to come by these days when everything is so solo dolo. You can jump on WoW. It's just you. Yeah, you can party with other people, but like it's just you. You can come and go from those parties whenever you want, kind of thing. You're not really investing much more than surface layer stuff. And I feel like D&D, it's kind of like, like you said, back your relatives and your aunts and stuff like that. Like I remember my family, and I'm 42, but I remember like watching my family members, my aunts and uncles, and even my elders back then. They would get together on a Sunday. They'd play their board games, their card games, whatever. They'd sit, and it was like an event. It was an actual event, and it was a ritual of sorts, and it was what held our family and their friends in tight bonds, right? Like, and now that's not really a thing that a lot of people get to experience.
Yeah.
D&D brings that back to like it's like truly investing not just in a game, but in the people that you're experiencing that game with. And it kind of like, I don't know, maybe that's why I really like it. Maybe that's why so many other people really like it. It actually, you find community in a real essence, in a real way. instead of like just a subsurface like fake kind of, oh yeah, we all play WoW or Final Fantasy, but like we don't know each other, and like how like I'm getting to get how Hannah thinks and how Popcorn thinks as a DM, and Brad, how you kind of think. Like, just I've just noticed that you're kind of more of an edgy person inside. If you get to face something head on that's kind of dangerous, I'm ready to run. Like I'm very conservative, and you're like, I'll take that risk kind of thing. And so is Lee. Like, right, he's soft spoken as a person, it seems
I
like,
just
but
didn't.
he's ready to jump in
I
there.
had no choice.
Yeah, but you get to understand your what I'm trying to say is you do get to understand people on a different level. And you gentlemen would know because this is your professions and stuff like that. But you get to understand people on a different level, which kind of like draws you closer to them and your bond with those people. And D&D is just the facilitator of that. And it's really it's fun to explore this for the first time for myself, and starting to realize that, and and you guys bringing this into blockchain and into this new innovative part of the world that's evolving technology. It's super interesting, right? Like, again, I'm not trying to talk people into it, but like just getting involved and realizing it for myself, it's super interesting. I think it's something that is very not just the game, but like the human interaction. It's much needed. It's really needed. And like Popcorn runs for, he said it multiple times, not just us, a small group, but he runs it for several groups that are all interconnected into this world that he's created. And like it's a cool bonding thing when you think of like that thing that you share, be it that it's a fantasy world, or I say fantasy, but we all get to like actually enjoy it. So like, how much fantasy is it really? Like, we can actually all collectively interact with our decisions, whether we're sitting in front of each other or talking to each other monthly. Like, he's running. How many other groups do you run, Popcorn?
Well, there's 11 different groups on that map, the world map that you saw earlier. So
Yeah, and you're
that kind of
and every one of
makes
their
it.
actions can affect our worlds. That's insane. You know?
Actually, on that point, if you don't mind, a small
Yeah,
plug.
sure.
As a matter of fact, this weekend, I and the Palace, Popcorn's Palace, are proud to host an event called Dominions in Crisis, which is where 10 to 20 players get together in a single Discord call, and they play as world leaders trying to solve a global crisis that will likely impact like 2 to 4 different groups that are playing through the world right now. It's possible that people will feel very strong ramifications from that event. All of these players are at this table trying to work together to solve the global thing, but they've also got secret private objectives they need to solve on their own terms. And they'll be sending me private messages while this game is going on and they're trying to work together, moving their assassins behind player 3, sending their armies out to player 2. People may die. They may be given new. They may not make it all the way to the end. They may accomplish their goals. Who knows? But I'm very excited to say that we do this about or seasonally. We might try and do it on like a quicker rotation, maybe like a monthly sort of an event. If people are interested in that, then definitely get in contact with me somehow, because we're always looking to grow the character list, right, or the player list. But what that's going to happen this weekend, the one that we're doing now. And your campaign happens to be kind of in the middle of where all
Oh
these leaders
gosh!
are coming
Don't
together. So
destroy the. We just got invited to have wine and food and stuff like that. Please don't destroy
Welcome
that.
to the last session of this campaign. This is the closers. Nice playing with everybody.
Hey,
Next
we
time.
almost had that today. I mean,
it's entirely plausible that you will have some ramifications. There is a character in the game that is Julien Verdot. A
Oh
little
goodness.
known name. So that's my plug is over. Thank you for giving me that time.
Okay,
But
I feel
yeah,
like
it's a
I feel like
really
our
interconnected
captain's not going to
world.
be around for very long. The captain's not going to be there, or us. I don't know. That's exciting though. Now I'm on edge. Lee, how did you get into it,
yeah.
man?
I started playing with my brothers when we were little, like Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, like the Nintendo. And then we started making our own kind of games, and those little journals that you get when you're a kid,
Yeah.
you write in. So we just started making up our own stuff, and I didn't even know about Dungeons and Dragons. But that's kind of how we got into it, and then started in second edition, I think, which is like in the 80s, I guess, early 90s. and I didn't play, for a long time after high school, and didn't play in college at all. 20 years went by, then COVID happened, and got into 3D printing, and sort of met Brad, and I was like, I got to get obsessed about this again, and
So
kind of
I'm
just
confused though. Wait, hold on. So, and while you guys have been talking, I've been kind of like Googling to like see if I can get my cliff notes real quickly. And I guess it kind of makes sense, but I am confused. Is there, I've gone to Barnes and Nobles, I've gone to bookstores, I've seen the Dungeons and Dragons books. Like, is there an actual book? It's weird to me that none of you guys have said, go pick up this book from volume one and read that and like nerd out. Because I would assume that there's
Oh.
a ton of those
Player's
books.
Handbook.
I mean,
But
I've
is it
read
just
probably all these books behind me here, and there's just plethora of them. So
Okay,
I can recommend books, but
but those are all Dungeon and Dragons books. Do they
more or
all?
less, yeah.
I'm so like I get it because like now when Popcorn was saying like everybody kind of like they're everybody's making this stuff as they go. There's different variations and all this other stuff. But is there no one place where I can go pick up from volume one and go like I guess I'm gonna say this is controversial. I'm gonna say it's kind of like the Bible, I guess. Like you can pick it up and read from front to back, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna get like what you need out of it, right? Because you can go into like each individual sub part of it and just read that part and probably get a good like is that the like a fair assessment of Dungeons and Dragons? Like if you tried to go and pick up volume one from the very first edition and you started reading all of it, doesn't mean that you're actually going to get like a complete story. Is that fair or no?
You don't. You can answer it if you want. Yeah.
I'll answer.
I mean, no one else.
So in the Forgotten,
I mean,
in the Forgotten Realms, yeah, I mean the story evolved from the first edition, and there were different things that happened in second edition that were cataclysmic. Third edition, we're on fifth edition now, and you don't need all of them to learn the rules. You just need the current edition. But there is stuff that happened back in the day that you wouldn't know about unless you read those books.
So like this handbook that you keep referring to, Brad and Popcorn, is like that is I get okay. So now I get it. It's like the summary of it all. Like you'll get if you just grab the handbook, like you should be able to be good.
so I mean,
Yeah.
it's important to say like, so when we're playing D&D right now, like with this group, we're playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which means there are 5 other editions that came before this one, completely different rules, right? So we used to have something called like in second edition.
Can I stop you though, so that people again that may not understand when you
Sure.
say 5th edition, 4th edition, 3rd edition?
Yeah.
it's like hard resets on the world, right? It's like the meteor, the dinosaurs, like boom, all of a sudden there's a whole new landscape kind of thing. Same world, something just wiped the board kind of thing, different rules.
So it's the rules that change specifically. Now, oftentimes, yes, you are correct. There's usually, whenever they go to a different rule setting, there's sort of like what is canon, what is continuity, right? That gets a little messy. But they usually will bring things that are beloved by the fan base back. Like we've seen Strahd, I don't even want to know how many times. And
Okay,
and they do have these
my mind went
worlds,
was
right?
like Japanese anime, like canon, or not just Japanese anime, but like obviously not Japanese anime, but like there's some things where it's like no, this is hard rule. This is like in there just because like this new edition happened. Like this is still relevant. So there is things like that.
It depends on what rules you're using, but yeah, like there's different worlds. Like there's Faerun, or there's Forgotten Realms. There's Greyhawk. There's Eberron, and there's a Spelljammer. There's all kinds of different settings. So like, think of a setting as being the difference between like Earth and Mars. They're completely different planets. They have completely different history, but they use the same rules.
Has there ever been? I'm just asking so many crazy questions because this is like my
all good.
moment to do that.
Hard to get it. It's hard to get it right. There's a lot here. But the good news is you don't have to deal with second edition. You used to have this thing called THACO, which was to hit armor class 0. You actually didn't try and hit the higher number. You tried to hit the lower number.
Oh my gosh, that's
just weird.
so
A lot of math.
Yeah, it was awful. Listen, I love second edition. Don't crucify me. Before those of you who are out there who love second edition, I get it. That's what I started with too. It's cool, but you can move on from Thaco.
So
okay.
some of those things that are kind of like hard set, is would it be character races? Like I've noticed when I was going to D&D Beyond, there was a ton, I mean a ton of options when it came to like what class are you, what race are you, what attributes are you, what region are you from? Has there ever been in all of these versions going forward where it goes, there's no more dwarves, like there's just no dwarves anymore? Has there ever been like removals, or has there always been like there's always going to be these set, maybe we'll introduce a new one, but there's always these things that you can pick from?
There was a 12th level spells that destroyed the world, and now the highest level you can have is 9th because God of Magic died, and there was a new God of Magic that was reborn, and she's only allowing this level of spell to be cast. So there were a lot of things that existed that you cannot do anymore.
And cannot play anymore.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
a
I guess
class
the
or
dungeon
race.
master can do whatever he wants, but it would be very hard to cast a level 12 spell. The guy who did it tried to turn himself into the god of magic, and ended up killing himself in the process and destroying all magic in the whole world. And
See, but
there are
this
all
is what I'm
these-
talking about. Where can somebody understand this? Where can this information right here? Is it in this
Yeah.
handbook?
No.
YouTube and books. Yeah.
So D&D is like, to try and simplify this, what Wizards of the Coast is in the business of publishing books, right? That's how they make their money.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, you sitting down at the table playing D&D, that doesn't make them money, right?
Right.
So, essentially, they create a rule book. So it's got how to play the game. You buy that. Somebody runs the game for you, but they have to have something to run, right? So first they create a rule book, then they create a scenario, which has like, they make the story, they fill it with characters. Sometimes they're rich, sometimes they're terrible. But they're, a bunch of different stuff. And so then after you know the rules, your DM will buy this guide and will run the story for you from that guide. So eventually you get like a bunch of these different guides that have all these different stories, but the only way to experience them is through a dungeon master running the content for you. And then there's also further regular fantasy books, like Drist is this drow character that everyone really likes. He's like one of probably the most famous drow. He comes from these just standard normal fantasy books that are just written off of the D&D settings.
But
So there's like
funny.
layers upon layers of
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
material.
like I'm listening to you guys, and I can't help. Like I have an investor, like he's a really high net worth individual, and he loves his saying was like, "There's levels to this shit." He always tells me, "Think there's levels to this shit," and I always kind of laugh
Right.
because he says it in a way where it's just like, "Yeah, I know it," but like there really is. There's levels to this shit as well. Where it's like you're a player, you're a dungeon master, or you're like the creator, like D&D, the company and stuff like that. That gives you the tools to make your playground. But the dungeon masters are the playground makers, and the enjoyers of the playground are just the players.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
And then there's everybody else that plays Final Fantasy and WoW all the way down here, right? Like there's all those other guys down there.
I mean, you can do both, I think.
I mean, it's cool, right? Because I mean, like Baldur's Gate is a great example. Ooh, I don't want to spoil things,
I love
but like,
No
you
spoilers,
take
I
a
haven't
game
played
like
it
World of
yet.
Warcraft or Baldur's Gate, and like they're trying desperately to give you this D&D experience, right? I mean, let's be honest, that they're essentially inheriting the same thing that we inherited as D&D players. It all in some way it leads back to Tolkien and like the fantasy worlds that were being written about like a century ago, or in the last century, I should say, more accurate. But like then you have D&D, and then you've got these video games that are trying to give you like a D&D experience, but they never can, right? The closest they can come at the end of the day, programmers, writers, artists, hundreds of people come together to try and give you as much freedom of choice as they can get. But at the end of the day, there's got to be an ending. They've got to program it. And once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
So even a game like Baldur's Gate 3, Game of the Year, fantastic story,
Great
it can
game.
only scratch the surface, really.
I played that game. That was a great game, by the way. Definitely
was
worth
fantastic.
every penny. Guys, I hate to do this. So I can't stay on for too much longer. And I appreciate you guys letting me pick your brain. I think these kind of discussions, while showing people the gameplay, is super, super important. Understanding what you're looking at and understanding why you're looking at what you're looking at and why people geek out about it so much is equally, maybe even, I would beg to argue, probably more important especially as an NFT project and, being in blockchain technology now and crypto and Cosmos. I think it's super, super important. So I really do appreciate you guys allowing me to ask you guys some really dumb questions, and they're pretty, I know, but I don't know at all, basically, really. Things that even just knowing that what you guys answered today really has me like itching to play more and explore more of the worlds that you create with my partners, going for hopefully weeks. Hopefully we don't die. Hopefully something doesn't happen with this new like event and the match falls to pieces. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. Actually, I do want to before we Popcorn, you're going to be streaming, right? Are you going to be streaming this as well from on Twitch now?
I don't know for certain if I will be streaming this event. Maybe it would be a little too soon. And to some degree, the event is a little cerebral, things happening behind the scenes.
Mhm.
But it's possible. We may not.
Well, going forward, that probably. But I mean, I would encourage you like maybe do a Twitch channel or something like that. I think there's a lot of demand, especially on Twitch, for this kind of stuff. And if you do, let me know. I would love to share. I'm one of those people. And that goes for all of you guys. Like I don't withhold the information of water within the desert. I'm just not that guy. Like if I know where it's at, I'm gonna point to it as well. Just because it's fun when everybody can drink. It's fun when everybody gets exposure and you can promote the things that you're interested in together. Like I'm just one of those people. I think rising tides raise all ships. So definitely let me know, and so I can promote it on the YouTubes, the channels, and stuff like that. And obviously, it's going to help Crypto Dungeon and what they're doing, and obviously, it helps me with content as well. So, like all of you guys, if you guys are doing those kind of things, like just let me know, and I'll try to share it as much as I possibly can. I do, unfortunately, I know this is kind of like I do actually got to call it though, guys. And so I apologize, but I do got to get off.
Tank, I have one question. That
Yeah.
shirt. How do I get a shirt before we come up? We meet each other in Nashville.
So these shirts, you guys will get it no matter what. You guys are gonna get them no matter what when you guys come to Nashville. This is the official shirt.
Nice.
It has our name on the back. I've seen it.
Does. Yeah. It does. And it's I don't know if you guys can hear me. It's a form fitting. I'm kind of bougie with my shirts. I need to have nice shirts. But it's the next.
It looks like an athletic.
Yeah, it's the next level. It was one of the more expensive ones. So it's a really super nice shirt. Everybody, you guys are all gonna get it. Hannah, are you going or no?
I unfortunately, with my rotation schedule, can take very little to no time off this year. So unfortunately, I cannot make it.
We will get you one from the guys. We'll definitely get you one. Just let them know your
Leave
size.
it with Dr. Berman. I'll see him at some point in the future.
Sure.
Yeah, he'll have a shirt and he can just throw it at you and be like, there you go, you got your shirt.
Perfect. Just
But
drive by.
everybody, yeah, I really do appreciate you guys. I've had a blast tonight. I look forward to doing it again during our next stream. But I got to get out of here before I get in trouble.
I understand. We can't play without everyone. So
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
It's okay.
All right, I'll see you guys next time.
Yep. See you, Tank.
indeed, catch you later,
Thanks.
mate. And thanks for doing
Thanks,
all
Tank.
you do.
For sure. You guys as well. I'll talk to you guys later.